This webinar chapter is a brief overview of the basic reporting capabilities of QMR. We will look at QMR by running some typical defect metrics reports, focusing on reports which use basic out-of-the-box data elements automatically provided by the interface to the Visiprise Manufacturing database. Later chapters will illustrate how you can build out the native VM data elements into your own custom reporting dimensions like product lines, programs, etc. But first, let's take a look at the basic QMR capability. QMR ad hoc metrics reporting is divided into the general areas of defect reports and yield reports. For ease of use, separate links are provided depending on whether you want to report time trends by week or by month. When you execute an out-of-the-box QMR ad hoc report, some basic VM data elements are available to you for selecting and for grouping your data. Filtering elements such as site, work center, item, operation, employee, and time period allow you to specify what data you want selected. These same basic VM elements allow you to define your report's grouping, which is essentially the level of detail you want to see and in what order. As an example, let's run a report to show defects for 3 sites: Arizona, California, Nevada, for the last 8 weeks. And let's group by site, then by week, and run our report. A basic QMR defects metrics report is now displayed, showing DPU, or defects per unit, across our 3 sites for the last 8 weeks. Graphs are shown at the top of the report, with the highest grouping element, in this case site, reported as a series, and the lowest grouping element, in this case weeks, on the x-axis. From this, we can easily see how each individual site's DPU is trending over this time period. The second chart shows the most numerous defects by defect type, broken out in a series by the last grouping item you selected, weeks. This chart quickly shows the kinds of defects responsible for the trends. This Pareto shows the most numerous defects, in this case the top 5, but we can change that number by clicking here, or we can click here, View Full Defects Pareto, to see all the defects contributing to this report, from the most numerous to the least numerous. The tabular data below the graphs shows the defects metrics summarized into cells according to your groupings, 1 per site per week, with row and column totals. Clicking within the cell shows the actual numerator and denominator, or defects in units, responsible for the computation. By clicking on this drop-down, we can change our metric being reported, selecting instead of DPU, failures per unit, defects or failures per operation, defects per million opportunities, or just simple counts of defects, failures, units, and operations. Different chart types may be selected under each chart. Any of your selected grouping elements can be made into separate tabs, 1 per unique value, by clicking here. To see this with a better example, let's create a new ad hoc report using the same selection criteria, but now let's have 3 grouping levels: site, then work center, then week. Now we click here to create a separate tab for each unique site on the report. This allows you to focus on the data within each individual site, while the original report, with all the tab values or sites, remains as the first tab. Within the Site tab, the highest grouping item becomes now not Site, but Work Center. So this tab shows the Arizona site broken out by Work Center by week. Returning now to the tabular data area, we see we have 1 cell for each unique site, work center, and week. Clicking within a cell value also allows us to select detail reports for that cell. For example, we can quickly look at the defect types and counts for one particular site, work center, and week. We can drill down to another, more specific metric report. For example, 1 week only, And for the greatest level of detail, we can run our detailed drill-through report, which shows all operations connected with that cell's value. In this case, the California site for 1 week for Work Center ES Work Center 2. Any QMR tabular report can be sorted on a column simply by clicking on the column heading. The detailed drill-through report will be covered in much more depth in the next chapter. Having created our ad hoc report, QMR allows us to save our report as a favorite, making it rerunnable with a single click option from our home page. As a system administrator, I can also choose to make this one-click report available to any QMR user, to users within a certain group, or actually to any user I choose. For now, I'll do what any standard QMR user can do and save it as a one-click report seen by myself only, and I'll call it 8-week DPU for Western sites. Returning to the home page, I see that my report is now available for me to run anytime with a single click. Note that the date selection I made on this report was a rolling one, so anytime I run this report, it will show me the most recent 8 weeks of data, regardless of when executed. These are some of the very basic QMR metrics reporting capabilities. In our next chapter, we'll look at an ad hoc yield report and learn more about detailed drill-through reporting and also the graphical Microsoft Excel exports.